Hello, I'm Terry Novacek, Executive Director of Element Education. I'm reaching out to you today to invite you and your family to join us in a collaborative effort to educate those who make decisions about our schools. But first, let's go over some basic information. Element Education is a nonprofit charter management organization, what is commonly referred to as a CMO. We have two charter schools, Dimensions Collaborative School and Community Montessori. Each of our schools has its own charter, and both are authorized by the San Diego County Office of Education. Both charter schools are classified as non-classroom based, or NCB, which is the same as independent study. They're classified as such because less than 80% of the student's instruction comes from a school staff member. We chose that model because that is what gives us the flexibility needed to offer true student-centered personalized learning. Okay, so why is this important that you have that clarification? Because non-classroom based schools have come into the limelight the last few years, and it's not for good reasons. Due to some shady practices of a few operators and their district authorizers, legislators and districts across the state have it out for NCB charter schools, thinking we all mismanage public funds and provide no service to families other than handing out money and giving fraudulent academic credit. We know that could not be further from the truth, but they don't. That's where you come in. It's time to educate more than our children. At Element, we prefer to tread lightly when it comes to engaging our families in politics because we don't want to stray from focusing on the students, and we don't want you to feel like we're pushing a personal agenda. Well, now the personal agenda is your child's education, and so we are asking you to join us in a campaign to get the word out. Last summer, the legislature passed Senate Bill 180, a bill which provided for funding all site-based schools based on the previous year's enrollment. In other words, if 10,000 students enrolled at a private or an NCB charter school or dropped out altogether, those schools would still get paid for those students. And that is exactly what is happening now. Naturally, many families migrated to NCB charter schools to enroll with a school where the teachers were still working and knew how to stay connected with the students. In anticipation of that migration and to force families to stay enrolled in those site-based schools that were not serving them, SB 180 included a clause which excluded NCB charters from being paid for those students. So schools like both of ours were able to take on some of the extra students from a lottery of hundreds, but thousands went on wait lists across the state. We've heard from the majority of families who have enrolled with us that they do not want to return to their district schools when they open back up. And we still have wait lists for both schools. So now is the time to tell our stories and dispel the myths about non-classroom based charters. Have there been some bad players in the charter school community? Absolutely. Just like there have been bad players in districts. In fact, if you look at the charter schools who have made the front page for wrongdoings, all their practices were 100% avoidable had there been proper oversight by the district authorizer. As we often say, it's not a charter thing, it's a character thing. And access to free and quality personalized learning should not be cut off because of a few bad characters. So, what is our story? Our story is your story. What does Community Montessori or Dimensions Collaborative mean to your family? What does it offer you that your local district school wouldn't or couldn't? More important than our thoughts, what do your children say when you ask them what they like about being enrolled in their school? Well, we hope the answer is something along the lines of, I like having a say in my learning, or I learn more when I'm given the choice and flexibility that my school offers. We know there are dozens more answers to the question, and we hope you'll take the time to share the information with those who make important decisions about our schools. Legislative committees, such as the education committees of both the State Assembly and Senate, are in full swing right now, drawing up bills to take action before June. We could reach out and simply request them to vote no here or vote yes there, but what is more important is that they can put a story to the school, just like putting a face to the name. Okay, everyone, so now it's time to spread the word. Element schools provide something district schools do not. Our schools operate with 100% compliance, and we maintain a strong relationship with the County Office of Education. And most importantly, we have a staff that is off the charts committed to the academic and social well-being of our students. They weren't at the beach last spring like union teachers when schools closed down. They worked harder than ever, and they continue to do so now, even without a pay raise. Because in order to budget for COVID-safe facilities and accept students to keep our enrollment balanced, we had to freeze salaries. We even had staff stay on who could have made more money by going on unemployment. The Charter School Act passed in 1992 with the purpose of providing options for parents, sparking innovation, and providing more local control. Very few charter school teachers belong to the teachers union, which is why the California Teachers Association spends millions of dollars a year putting politicians in office and sponsoring anti-charter legislation. It's time to speak up. I'm not talking about an uprising or even a peaceful protest. I'm talking about education. It is astounding how many politicians and folks in the public school sector know little to nothing about what charter schools are, how they operate, or even why they exist. I spoke to a group of retired administrators last spring. You could have cut the Zoom room tension with a knife when I started. But after hearing facts, asking the tough questions, and thinking with reason, I received an overwhelming sense of appreciation and heard over and over again, "Oh, I didn't know that." So gang, let's let them know. Our kids count too.